I'm going to get to the email scandal. Trump vowed if he's president, he'll appoint a special prosecutor to go after the private server. Watch this.
Special prosecutor, here we come, right? If I win, we're going to appoint a special prosecutor. Because we cannot allow this to happen to our country. We can't.
Okay, Judge Andrew Napolitano, the aforementioned laughing guy, here he is. Okay, what do you make of this?
It's unclear what he means by we cannot allow this to happen. If he means we cannot allow a person to escape prosecution because of her last name, he doesn't need a special prosecutor. He can direct his Attorney General to have the Justice Department reopen the investigation of Mrs. Clinton if she hasn't been pardoned by Barack Obama.
Well, that's what you expect, isn't it?
I would think that if Donald Trump wins, Mrs. Clinton will be pardoned by the president in one of his last acts because Donald Trump has threatened, quote, to put her in jail. On the other hand, if Donald Trump is talking about a special prosecutor to investigate the investigation, why didn't the FBI use the tools available to it? Why didn't the FBI gather this evidence and that evidence? No subpoenas, no search warrants, no grand jury. That is worth investigating. That way the FBI dropped the ball assaults the rule of law, and a lot of people want to know what happened.
And nobody could be pardoned if you go after the investigation as opposed to the target. Okay.
Correct.
I've got to bring this to your attention. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg blasting San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick for his constant kneeling to protest the national anthem. She calls it dumb and disrespectful. Well, I've never heard that from a Supreme Court justice.
I have not expressed an opinion on this, but I will. I disagree with what he does, but I will defend to the death his right to do it. But I'm not on the Supreme Court. She should not be entering the political fray or the legal fray in a case that might come to her. Suppose he's fired for this and files a lawsuit in federal court and it makes its way to the Supreme Court and she's already expressed an opinion on it. That is wrong. It demeans the credibility of the court.
Well, no sitting justice should make a public comment with any political content at all.
She blasted Donald Trump in words that were harsher than anything Mrs. Clinton has said. And that is really inappropriate for a sitting full-time member of the judiciary, state or federal, because they don't have armies to enforce their rulings. Their rulings are enforced by their credibility, by the aura of respect we give them. When they sound like political hacks, that respectability is diminished.
Whoa, Napolitano, did you just describe a Supreme Court justice as a political hack?
I said when they sound like.
Oh, you're such a lawyer. I've got 45 seconds left. Justice Clarence Thomas. He's not in the Museum of American History, the American...
African-American Museum?
I'm sorry, the African-American History Museum. He's barely mentioned. Anita Hill, on the left-hand side, his accuser, plays a role in that new museum. Will you... Now, a lot of people say, Judge Clarence Thomas, A, he's a conservative, and B, he's not intellectually up to it. That's the criticism. What say you?
The criticism is born out of ignorance. Justice Thomas's defense of natural law, the defense of human liberty against the encroachments of the government have been some of the most brilliant and powerful in the modern era. His judicial opinions will be studied by law students, lawyers, and judges for the next 100 years. And anybody who disagrees with that has not read them and is making a judgment on the fact that he's black and he's not a liberal progressive as the black leadership wants their folks to be.
He hardly ever asks a question. I think he went for 10 years without asking a question.
Because he is of the view, and a lot of judges agree with him, that you can read the law and you can read the arguments, you can read the documents, and oral argument is just for show and is utterly a waste of time. I don't agree with that, but a lot of well-intended judges all across the political spectrum agree with that.
I understand, however, that he is now asking questions after the passing of Justice Scalia. Is that correct?
He may replace the void created by Justice Scalia's untimely departure.
If Hillary Clinton
the question is, will he be in the minority or will he be in the majority?
I was trying to get there, sort of sideways. All right, Judge, you are released for the day from Varney and Company. You're a lucky guy.
See you in the morrow.